For farms and orchards here in the North Country, fall is the harvest season, when workers put in a lot of overtime. In New York, the state wage board determines how many hours employees work before they get paid overtime, time and a half. Right now, for ag workers, it's 60 hours a week. But the board is considering whether to lower that, possibly to 40 hours, like many other employees. Farmers and apple growers from across the region gathered this past week to speak out against the change. Jesse Mulbury with Northern Orchards in Peru says many farmers and growers won't be able to afford the extra overtime and will likely have to cut back on the number of workers they hire.
There is nowhere near enough of a local labor supply to harvest our apples. And if the overtime threshold is lowered, our farm and most others in the state will not be able to afford to harvest our crops at the hugely increased overtime rates, and therefore will not likely be able to survive if the threshold is lowered any further.
Paul Fisher, a migrant worker from Jamaica, has worked at Rulfs Orchard for 27 years. His two sons also work there. Fisher says he and other workers come to the U.S. to try to earn as much money as they can during the limited growing season to send to their families back home.
I don't think anybody should determine when we should take a rest day. I think we should take a rest day when we need a rest day. I'm from Jamaica, and when I go home back to Jamaica, I go on vacation. So I don't need any vacation here. I come here to work.
Farmers say they worry if the change in overtime goes through, workers may choose to go to other states where they can get more hours and more pay, leaving farms and orchards here in New York scrambling to find workers. The New York Civil Liberties Union and other groups are urging the overtime threshold be dropped to 40 hours, arguing farm workers should not be denied a right extended to other wage earners. But local lawmakers, including State Senator Dan Steck and Assemblyman Billy Jones, say overtime for farm laborers in New York was revised just within the past couple of years, and that the changes being considered now would be too costly.
The fact is that a large number of these people in a market where every employer is scrambling to find employees, but we are going to be chasing the people that are willing to do the difficult work of farming away to other states that don't have this threshold.
The state's wage board will make a final decision by the end of the year.